Well, okay, so tonight we are on lesson number 2, and we're going to be talking about no trump bidding. Now, last night it was just kind of a survey of the different parts of bridge, and we didn't get into a lot of details. It was just kind of a taste test, if you will. And I'm going to review some of that. We're going to take a look at it a second time. So if you weren't here last week, or if you want a refresher, you're fine. And I'm going to turn off this light so we can have a little bit better. Can everybody see our slides okay? Okay, so tonight we're going to start off by talking, as I mentioned, about the no trump bids. We're going to have a little review. But in last week, we spoke about when you opened, you had this notion of a certain number of points. And Charles Gorin was the one who really popularized the concept. I mentioned this McDonald. He did it 100 years ago. It was actually 1915. He said aces were 4, kings were worth 3, queens were worth 2, and jacks are maybe worth 1. And so that meant if you have 4 suits, each suit has 10 points, there's 40 points in the deck. So rather than looking at some kings and queen and wondering is it a very good hand or not, he said, well, if you have 13 points, or these days a lot of people say if I have 12 points, I will open the bidding. 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 spade, or 1 no trump. But 1 no trump, it has a little bit more points because it's a harder contract to make. So as we'll talk about, some people would go 16 to 18 points. A lot of people now say 15 to 17 points. And that's kind of what I'll be stressing is opening 1 no trump when you have 15 to 17 points. A balanced hand. What does this all mean? We'll get into that in just a little bit. But there is the notion that when your partner opens 1 no trump with 15 to 17, and you wonder, well, we'd like to get a game bonus. You get some points for every trick. You have to make what you do in a contract. It'd be like if you bought a painting for $3,000 and sold it for $2,000. Well, you didn't really, your boss would not be happy with that. So when we make a bid of 3 no trump, let's say, then you have to make a certain number of tricks. If you fail, then you lose some points. You don't get points because you overbid. So we want to be sure our bid is within the range. We'll get into that. But when our partner opens 1 no trump, we can make 3 types of bid. Last week I talked about, a minimum bid, a medium bid, or a maximum bid. And over here, as you take a look at it, you see where it says PIG. You'll find that in your book. I think that Pat was having a little fun with that, the pig bid. The first is where you, as your partner of the opener, you have a minimum hand. You can't really have enough to get a game bonus. We'll get into this, and that's a pass. And if you have an intermediate hand, you invite, which is where the I comes from. And if you have even more points where you're certain that you and your partner should get a game, then you would bid a game. And that's the 3 types of bids we're going to take a look at. So we're going to take a look at bidding, and we're going to get into scoring this week. So some of this should tie in, well, why do you make certain bids? How do the scores work? And we're going to take a look at taking tricks and the ways you take tricks. So you remember in war where you play a queen and your other person plays a jack and your queen wins. You take both of them. That's a trick. We have 13 tricks since we have 13 cards, and each time we play around clockwise, we have an opportunity for one of us will take a trick. The person who wins the trick will lead to the next trick, and so on and so forth. So there's ways we can get extra tricks that we'll really spend some time on today, and one of them will be promotion. That is, imagine if you had all the cards in one suit. You had all 13 diamonds. Well, it makes sense you should be able to take 13 tricks. So that would be a promotion of a suit. But let's say you have, the top 5. Ace, king, queen, jack, and 10. Remember the ace is high. You have all of them, they call them honors, all those, ace, king, queen, jack, 10. If you have all 5, well, you're sure to get 5 tricks there, provided you're the one that's playing first. So then you would know that you've done a good job to promote that suit. But if you had ace, king, and then 3 little ones, a 2, 3, and 4, well, maybe you'll get something with the 2, 3, and 4. Maybe you won't. And we'll get into some of that. But promotion will be a big part of what we'll talk about today. Won't be that much time on finesses. The finesses, as you may recall, let's say that I've got a spot in my hand. I've got an ace, and I'm missing a spot, and then I've got the queen. Well, will the queen take a trick or not? Well, if the person to the left of the ace-queen has the king, then I've pinned the king down. I can play a small card to the queen, and if they want to play the king, then my ace takes it and my queen wins. If they don't play the king, then my queen wins it. So if the queen is what we call onside between our tennises, between those honors with a hole in the middle, then you can take extra tricks. We won't see that today. Roughing, not so much today again here, because this is no trump. And when we play in a no trump contract, we're saying that our hand is kind of balanced. We don't have a really long suit, and we would just as soon play where there is no trump contract. Or some of you are politicians. You may or may not like the idea of no trump. Oh, you caught it. Okay, so off we go. So first off, we're going to take a look at lesson 2 of 6. This is about no trump contracts, and we're going to start with a review, and we've talked about your expectations. So hand evaluation. When we pick up our 13 paste boards, our cards, sometimes they would initially call them paste boards because they were paste material together, our 13 cards, it will be comprised of cards in different suits. And you remember that the highest ranking suit is spades, and then hearts, and then diamonds, and then clubs. If you don't remember it, I mentioned you can look at like your club feet is the lowest, the club, and then diamond in your hand, and then up higher than that is your heart, and then if you're holding a shovel or something, it's the spade is the highest. Or if you can't remember that, just think of alphabet C, D, H, S. That works too. Okay, so within each suit, we will have maybe some low cards, non-honors, 2 through 9, and the highest of those would be played if there were no honors. But, when you've got another 5 in the suit that are honors, then that's where we come up with our high card points. And so if you had a ace, that would be worth 4 points. If you have a king, it's 3, a queen, 2, and a jack, maybe it'll be worth a point. If you got it with some others, it probably will be worth something. Now, you don't have to use this 4-3-2-1 system, but if you don't, it's going to be hard to kind of evaluate your hand to some kind of mathematical representation to say, I've got 12 points or more, I think I can open. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, I see some pictures of some Rembrandts. Rembrandt's pictures, kings, queens, and jacks. And you're not sure how much is this good or not. So to take the actual looking of the cards and make a mathematical number, it actually just helps us. Okay, so we also, if we have a long suit, as I mentioned, if you had a lot in one suit, especially with some high honors, the ace and the king, you can get some extra tricks, more than just those. You might have some little ones. So if you had ace, king, queen, and 4 others, that's 7 of the 13. You think they would take pretty much all of the tricks? You would take all 7? Or would you just take the ace, king, queen? Well, let's think about it. If I have 7, how many does that leave in the suit? 6 left. And there's 3 other players. How many would each person have on average? 2? 2, 4, 6? So I don't think it's very likely it's going to one person is going to have a jack and 3 others. It's not likely. So if I have ace, king, queen, and 3 others, it's probably going to promote. And we'll talk about how these long suits can get us extra tricks. We'll spend a lot of time on promotion today. Okay, we're going to talk about playing tricks. Our long suits, as I mentioned, if you have something more than 4, we like to give ourselves a point. Besides this high card points. Remember the high card points are HCP, ace, king, queen, and jack. We get extras, and we'll see that in a moment, for extra length. Roughing would be fine if we're playing in a suit contract. That is where, let's say that I've got a lot of spades, ace, king, queen, and 4 others. And my opponent leads an ace of diamonds, but I have no diamonds. Well, I cannot follow suit. I must follow suit when I can. But if I can't follow suit, then I can go ahead and play a trump. I can play a low trump, a low spade, the 2 of spades, and say, sorry, your ace does not win the trick. I am roughing it. Okay? And yes, go ahead. Yes.
Well, on this hand distribution and long, I can see looking at that with some value.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side of the coin, if it's no trump, I don't see any value in short.
No, in fact, it's a weakness because in no trump contracts, as we'll find out, we talked about promoting the suit. Well, our opponents, they want to promote their suit. So if we have a shortness, a void, and they start playing the ace, king, queen, and four others in the club suit, and we only had a singleton club, wow, we're going to lose. They're going to take a lot of tricks away from us. So in no trump, as we'll find out, is whoever wins the race. So you want to get your tricks before they get their tricks by doing a promotion play. Great. Good question. Otherwise, you would want to say, I don't want to play in a no-trump contract if I've got a singleton or void. I want to play in one of these long suits I've got. Okay? All right, so we're on slide 3. The slide numbers are at the top, by the way. This is one that we saw last week. And so in aces, over here this is the west hand, and this is the east. North, east, south, west. I just showed the east-west here to make them fit on the screen. And for those of you who haven't seen this before, normally show the spades first, and then the hearts, the diamonds, and the clubs. I would have put it there, but it kind of got tight on space, so I apologize. But I will say that if you haven't seen this before, and probably some of you haven't, is that like the game that was played today, here was the actual hands that were played. And if you look on these, you'll see that where it does show the spades, the hearts, the diamonds, and the clubs. It shows how many high card points are on there. If you take a look at like hand number 1, may I share with you? Yeah. And on hand number 1, right to the lower left of that first quadrant for number 1, I see a 19, an 8, a 6, and a 7. So North has 19 points. If you look up there at the North hand at the top, it has a lot of aces, kings, and queens. If we figured it out, I'll bet you there are 19. And then underneath it, it shows how many it will make. It will make 4 spades, or it'll make 4 clubs, or 2 hearts, or 3 diamonds, or 1 no trump, so on and so forth. So anyway, that's something when people play in duplicates, after they get through, they want to take a look and see how they did versus everybody else, and they talk to their partner. But here for us, let's just take a look in the spade suit. How many points do we have, high card points, in the spade suit? 7, right. An ace is 4, a king is 3, 7. How about in the heart suit, the next suit down? 3, okay. And then after that, the diamonds? 2 points, yes. And then the clubs? Maybe 1, because there's ace, king, queen against you, unless your partner's got some of them. That jack may not take, so it maybe is 1. Jacks we're not as fond of. Aces and kings, the primary honors, much more likely to take, well, this looks pretty solid, doesn't it, here? So how many points do we have altogether? 4 and 3 is 7. 3 is 10. 2 is 12. I don't know. If my partner bid this suit, then I'd say, okay, it's probably, they've got some clubs, then maybe. So it's 12, and how many points over here in this hand? Can you see the hand okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9. Now, if you or your partner played the diamond suit, you'll lose both of them. Somebody will take the ace, somebody will take the king. But if they played the suit first, you'll guaranteed to get one. You could work it out. But you'd like them to start that suit rather than you. You wouldn't want to start that suit. Which is your longest suit? Clubs? Anything else? Hearts? Hearts. You have 7 in both of these. These are your longer suits. So if you had a chance to promote it, you'd rather promote it than your opponents will probably promote these 2 suits, is what they'll be trying to do against you. Anyway, aces are 4, kings are 3, queens are 2, and jacks may be 1. So this is what we call high card points, or HCP. Okay, this is the basis of how we evaluate our hand. And if we happen to be so blessed as to have something more than 4 cards in a suit, if you have 5 or more, it probably is worth 1 point. If you have 6, it's probably worth an extra 2 points. And we'll take a look at some cases where it works well and some where it doesn't work well. Now, how about this spade suit? Don't you love this suit? Ace, king, queen, 7 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, we have 13 cards. So this is a 7, 4, Whoops. Looks like we're missing one, isn't it? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, 12, 13. 7, 4, 2, 0 is the shape of that hand. And unless somebody has jack and 3 others against you, it looks like you're going to take all the spade tricks, even though this might be a 2, 3, 4, 5. You see why? Because you have these nice top honors. You have a good chance to get the king if your partner has an ace or a queen. If you're lucky, they may have both of them. Let's say they didn't have any high hearts at all. Well, you could play a low heart to your king, and if the ace was down here, if they take the ace, then next time you'll win the king. If you play it and they don't play the ace, then you win a trick. So it's a finesse is what we would be doing. If the ace was over here, oh well, I guess we lost the finesse, didn't we? But anyway, we can see in high card points, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and everything beyond 4, we count one with a good suit, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would say 12 points because this suit is going to take some extra tricks. And another 3 for the king is 15 points. High card points just 12, but we get some length points here. How about this hand? Shape is a 4, 4, 3, 2. That's the most common shape in bridge. And it has 4, 5, 6, and that's it. Okay? Do you have a sense for points? Yes.
What would you bid in that?
That's a great question. So here we go. We're going to try it, even though that wasn't the point of this one, but you've asked me. So this person will open 1 spade. When you have 12 to 21 points, you open at the 1 level in your long suit. In this case, where you have 5 of the major spades or hearts, you will open that. We'll get more into that later. But you would open 1 spade, and this person, if they have 6 points or more, they will respond. If they have less than 6, they'll use this green card, pass. Or if you're playing social bridge, like when I first learned, my father would say, pass with support. No, you can't say that. You can't have these extra words like you can in poker. You can just say pass. You don't go pass. Just a normal tone and inflection. No raising of eyebrows or things like this. But with 6 points or more, you would bid. So after 1 spade, you have to bid something. And if you bid 2 hearts, that says you have 10 points or more and 5 long, as we'll find out in our book later. But you would just have to say 1 no trump. And then your partner would say 2 no trump, or maybe 3 no trump, or 2 spades, or maybe 3 spades, and to try to encourage you to go on. How many tricks do you think that they're going to make? 7, right, in spades, as long as spades is trump. They got 7 there. How many in this suit? I think they probably got 4, unless there's jack 4th against them, right? There's 8 there. That leaves how many? 5, right? 8 from 13 is 5. So unless somebody has all 4 to the jack, I think you're probably going to take 7 plus 4. You'll take 10 tricks. And where will you lose tricks? You'll lose these 2 tricks here, right? And you lose nothing here because you're void in this suit. That's what that indicates. So it looks like you're going to take all the tricks but 2. Looks like you will take 11 tricks. So you would hopefully find, since it takes 10 tricks for a game, you'd hopefully find a game and get this nice big bonus. And we're going to talk about that shortly. So, okay, aces and kings are quick tricks. In other words, they'll take tricks quickly. These queens and jacks we saw before, it takes a while. You remember the previous hand? It's going to take a long time before you get a trick when you've got these secondary honors like queens and jacks. That's why they don't get as much value. Okay. So that's a nice suit. Look at that spade suit there. You got it burned in your brain? Okay, look at this next one. What do you think about that spade suit? That looks pretty bad, doesn't it? You're kind of upset that, I've got all these 7 long again. How come, who dealt these cards? How come I don't have my ace and king in this suit? Remember, it was ace, king, queen. So this, you're going to lose, your partner has none either. You're going to lose the ace, the king, the queen, maybe even the jack. So this is not good because these honors are misplaced. And that's the reason. Same number of points, but when you've got a promotable suit, ones that are accompanied by high honors, that's good. when you have one that has only a 10, that's a pretty poor honor. So we would downgrade our hand when we have a suit that does not have good honors in it. Okay, so I wouldn't count length points here at all. That suit's not going anywhere for a long time, unless our partner supported it. Okay, so we talked about the club, the diamond, the hearts, and the spades. So when the bidding goes, it can be where the dealer, first of all, they make the first bid, and let's say that they said one club. Now, your left-hand opponent, clockwise, it goes around, they can make a call, and let's say they want to compete. They don't have to. They could pass, but if they think they have enough to compete against you, they would have to say something higher than the club suit. They could say one diamond or one heart or one spade or maybe one no trump if they had the right kind of hand. But they could, if you started with one heart and they wanted to bid diamonds, well, they can't bid a suit rank lower than yours. So what would they do after one heart? Does anybody remember? Two diamonds. You'd have to go to the 2 level because you'd want to do one. And I had a couple people today that, the bidding box goes out. The first person goes one heart. And the next person goes one diamond. You say, oh, director. And I come over and, yes, insufficient bid. Okay. I'm sorry. They meant to go 2 diamonds. And they put out the 2 diamond bid. Okay, so that's how that works. So we have to then, if we've made an insufficient bid, we have to make it sufficient. Okay? So it goes around up through the highest ranking suit is spades, and then after that, one no trump. Why is one no trump higher than spades? Because they're hard to make no trump contracts. It's harder because you're not able to rough or anything like that. So after that, then we go to the 2 level. After one no trump, somebody can go 2 clubs, including your partner or an opponent, diamonds, hearts. And it's just like that. Same way all the way up through 3, through 7, and so on. Other calls that you can make, the pass. So as a responder, if we have less than 6 points, that last hand you saw over here, it had 6 points, an ace and a queen, we can pass. If we doubt the opponents will make it, let's say that we're pretty sure we can make 3 diamonds. We've got a lot of points, and we've got pretty good suit. And the opponents, they bid 3 hearts. It's like, well, what's that all about? They're robbing from us. We could have made 3 diamonds and had a good score. Now they go 3 hearts. Well, you as an opponent of theirs, you can go ahead and make a double. This X means I doubt it. It means I'm going to penalize you. And if they make the contract, they get a lot of extra points. But if they don't make it, you think, well, they're not going to make it. You say double, or you get out the double card if you're playing duplicate, and you say, I think we should penalize you because you overspoke. That painting, I thought it was worth $3,000, and you bid $9,000. I doubt it. I double you. Okay? And then there's a redouble, which if they said, I really think I can make 3, I double you back again. Now we're kind of getting into testosterone bidding, right? It's worth 4 times as much now. Very seldom happens where there's redoubles for that reason. Okay, so the opponents, I said, may compete. So on slide number 7 is where we're at now. And what are the shapes of the hand? We saw some before where there were some fairly flat hands. This would be, you have 4 in one suit, you have 3 in another, 3 in another, and 3 in another. That's pretty flat. That's completely balanced. Each suit is as long as the other, as close as you get to be perfectly balanced. This is the most common distribution. I think it's about 26% or something. 4, 4, 3, 2. 2 suits, you have 4 cards, 1 and 3, and then you have one with what we call a doubleton. Has only 2. Or here's another one with a doubleton, but you now have one with 5. This is a common shape too. We like it when we have a 5-card suit. Hopefully it's got the ace king or ace queen or ace jack 10 or something like that. That's where you've got a 5-card suit. Now we're getting kind of happy. We might be getting a distribution point. A 5, 3, 3, 2. Incidentally, this is for the different suits. This could be a spade suit or club suit. I don't know which, but your long suit is what I'm trying to represent. But similarly, going around the table, there's 13 cards in a suit. So if I have 5 spades, somebody else may have 3, my partner, and then one of the opponents likely has 3 and the other one likely has 2. So it's not only the suit shape in your hand, but it's how a suit is divided among the players. You could use these same numbers each way. So I talked last week about pi, 3.14, 159, 28, 36, blah, 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 blah. You get, when you start remembering these patterns, they just kind of get soaked in your head. And so it's like, oh, that was a 5, 4, 2, 2. I had 5, my partner had 4, and each of the opponents have 2. And you get to kind of do these pretty quickly. So you don't have to memorize these for this class, but it's helpful to at least have an awareness of the shape of your hand and the way the suit splits across the table for each of these 4 suits. So if we're looking at a balanced hand, and this is about no trump, where we don't have a long suit to play roughs because, as you said, Peter, somebody will play your short suit and mow you over. So we would like balanced hands. These are all balanced hands here. You can have one side suit doubleton. No singletons or voids, please. My beloved wife, one time she opened one no trump. I got 15 to 17 points, and I know that 15 to 17 points, I opened one no trump. This was over in, Sonoma. And, the opponents, they played a suit. My partner, she had bid one no trump. She had none in the suit. They looked at her. That's a no-no. You should never tell the opponents that's a no-no. But she was supposed to. When you make a no trump bid, you're supposed to have some cards in every suit. I played against some people that have had 7 spades and nothing in one suit. They just don't know any better. But when we have a balanced hand is when we're thinking about no trump bids for the same reason you mentioned. Okay, it's okay to have one 5-card suit, and we like to have 3 cards and hopefully 3 of the 4 suits. And we can have at least 2 cards in one of the suits. That's fine, even if it's a worthless doubleton. I know some people, when they start, it's like, oh, I don't want to bid one no trump because in diamonds I have a 3 and a 2. It's okay in one suit just to have 2 little baby cards. Your partner probably has some in the suit. Don't worry about it. Or if not, your opponents, they should be bidding it probably. At any rate, okay. You also may have the semi-balanced hand sometimes, and this is where you have a 5, a 4, a 2, and a 2. Now, your bridge teachers won't normally tell you this, but people are high-level players. They'll say it's okay to do, but you better have 3 honors in those suits, 3 good honors. So if I have ace, queen in one suit and king doubleton in another, king in a low, then you could open it as if you have the right values. Okay, we won't do any tricky ones to that. Once again, going to the bidding. If you have more than half the points in the deck, half the points would be 20 of 40. That's a pretty good hand. You have half the points yourself. If you have 20, how many points does it leave? 20. How much does on average each person have if there's 20 left? Almost 7, right? 6 2/3, I guess. So if you've got 20, your partner has 6 or 7, that'd be pretty good. Okay. Now, if you have a really big hand, we'll see later in the class, you open this artificial 2 clubs. It's something above the 1 level, and that's just the ubiquitous bid. I've got 22 points or more, and everybody knows that. We won't be talking about that for quite a while. But if you have a super max hand, that's the bid you make. Okay, then, when we open 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade, we have 12 to 21 points. We don't have our 22. That's a big range, isn't it? 9 points range? Who knows? If your partner's got a minimum, 12, 13, 14, medium, 15, 16, 17, or big hand, 18, 19, 20, 21, something like that. Well, let's take a look at that some more. When we open with this big range and our partner has 6 points, we saw the ace and the queen, 4 and 2 is 6, we respond. We bid a higher ranking suit, or if there's no more suits, your partner started with spades, you bid 1 no trump. But if you have 10 points or more, we have other bids we'll talk about later in the course. So if we rebid 1 no trump, in other words, we open over here 1 club and our partner goes 1 heart and we go 1 no trump, that says we have 12 to 14 points. And I only say that because if we actually made our initial bid of 1 no trump, how many points does it say we're supposed to have? 15 to 17, 16 on average. So we have about a third of the points in the deck. And that's a really good hand. It's very descriptive. 1 no trump, I have 15, 16, or 17, and I have a balanced hand. I don't have any singletons or voids. I have maybe one doubleton. This is what we're going to focus on today, is opening one no-trump bidding.
There's some restrictions on when you should.
Yes, I'll save that for later, but it's the 5 and dime bid. You ever remember the 5 and dime stores way back? It says when you go to the 2 level, you have 5 long and you have 10 points or more. Well, if you don't have 5 in length and 10 points or more, then I guess you can't bid 2 clubs. If you've got 9 points, you just have to bid 1 no trump, even if you have 5 clubs or 6 clubs. It doesn't feel very good, but that's what you have to do. Okay, we'll get to that later, though. So basically what I'm trying to show is that when we have 15 to 17 points, a really good hand, we bid 1 no trump. If we have 20 to 21 points, we'll open 2 no trump. These are balanced hands, too. If we have an imbalanced hand, we may just bid 1 club, or whatever your longer suit is here. You've got 5 in a major, you can bid that. You know, that's the best you can do. But if you have a balanced hand with 15 to 17, 20 to 21, you open 1 no trump or 2 no trump. And you've made such a descriptive bid to your partner. It's not like this range where it's 12 to 21 points. Shoot, who knows? You're saying I have exactly that number of points. Now, your partner is now the captain. We'll talk about captaincy a little bit more later. But in essence, when I tell you exactly what my points are, now set my partner to steer the auction. Even though I may have more points, my partner knows what to do. I come over to Peter and I say, hey, Peter, let's go to dinner tonight. Okay. Peter, I've got $10. Where are we going to go? And he'll say, oh, well, let's go over to Baja Fresh. That was where I just had a quick snack. Because he knows how much money I have. It's like opening 1 no trump. I said him exactly. So it's up to you to steer where we go eat, right? Because I've said exactly what my range is. I got $10, so I got 9 to 11 or something like that. I've got $15 to $17. Okay, you kind of know where we should maybe go eating. If you've got like $4 to spend, or you've got $30 to spend, then you can steer the auction the right way. Okay, and if the auction goes like 1 club, 1 heart, and you don't go 1 no trump, which was 12 to 14, and you didn't open 1 no trump, 15 to 17, you go 2 no trump, you make a jump bid. You could have gone 1 no trump, but you go 2 no trump, so you'll have 18. And if you have 19 points or more, you'll just bid the game, which we'll talk about soon.